Hi, and thank you for joining us at Data Cloud Europe 2015. My name is Stephen Pritchard, and joining us is Eric Schwartz from Equinix. Eric, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Stephen. It's great to be here.
I appreciate you taking the time to join us here in Monaco. In terms of cloud computing, though, moving away from the sunshine behind us for a moment and the clear skies, what is your outlook for cloud computing technology at the moment?
Well, Stephen, I think we've seen tremendous momentum and growth in cloud computing over the past several years as cloud computing has been more readily adopted in the enterprise, as enterprises have understood where they can apply it within their broader business strategies. But I think as the industry and the business matures, we're going to see substantially more adoption, far greater innovation, and a lot more opportunity across the entire cloud space. And that, of course, translates into requirements for infrastructure in the data center industry, which is where Equinix focuses.
Now, you provide data center services both to companies that operate in the cloud and companies that operate their own IT infrastructure. Where's the balance at the moment in terms of the interest from CIOs?
Well, the CIOs from a enterprise standpoint are mixing both. And so they're in a hybrid model where they're deploying some of their own infrastructure and then connecting that, integrating that with cloud infrastructure. And I think the balance is going to depend very much on the application, the requirements, and the particular deployment that enterprises are making. And certainly we see the enterprise deployments and requirements as a growing portion of the Equinix portfolio.
So do you see coexistence as the key here?
It's coexistence and it's integration. And so while there will be deployments that are side by side, the most important part is in the interconnected world that we live in is being able to integrate and connect applications from dedicated and private infrastructure to cloud infrastructure to deliver the end application to the user. And doing that in a secure way and in a high performance way to deliver the appropriate user experience is really ultimately what all of this is geared towards.
How does some of the technological innovations and also the commercial innovations that you've been behind as a business fit into improving that choice to CIOs?
Well, certainly the most recent innovation and one where we've provided tremendous focus is the Equinix Cloud Exchange, which is a platform that's intended to provide enterprise users and other cloud users the opportunity to have a secure, high-performance platform that enables them to not only physically connect, but to manage the provisioning and service layer in a very effective and flexible way. And doing that removes some of the obstacles to cloud adoption and cloud deployment, but it also facilitates a far more agile and flexible operation for the end consumer of the cloud services, driving innovation and driving performance. And we're very excited about the adoption we've seen to date, and we expect that to grow as more use cases come onto the Cloud Exchange.
A lot of the discussion around cloud is understandably about the providers and who's doing what capacity do they have, what skills do they have, how environmentally friendly are they. But really the drivers are much more to do with the businesses that need IT facilities and services and what their CIOs are after. How do you address that part of the market? How do you ensure that you give the CIOs what they require?
Part of it is what Equinix can do in working with our enterprise customers to educate them on use cases, applications that we're seeing. In fact, Equinix, we use within Equinix probably more than 40 cloud applications ourselves that are integrated, and so we talk about Equinix on Equinix, and we are our own case study for CIOs to understand how the technology and the capabilities of many of our customers can be leveraged in the enterprise domain. But then beyond that, Equinix's reach and capacity to facilitate this sort of dialogue is limited. And so we've recently launched a channel program with a number of technology partners who have broader relationships with enterprises where they can integrate their own technology capabilities with the capabilities that Equinix can provide with that of our customers to provide integrated solutions for enterprises. And that is providing a multiplier effect for enterprises to understand the possibilities and ultimately to have successful deployments.
Are there any particular applications that stand out for you in terms of what's driving continued growth in the cloud?
Well, I think it's really across the board. I think the applications, we see a number of customers who are deploying big data applications with real-time analytics where performance and the need to be very responsive is critical. And that certainly comprises a component of what we've seen. But you also see very broad applications like Office 365 from Microsoft, where, again, a cloud application, but to the point where it's broadly accessible and the end user isn't concerned about cloud or not cloud. They're concerned about having effective use of the application, and we're very excited in the trend that that's taking.
But something else that you think is quite key, especially for your global enterprise customers, is to have a level of consistency in terms of the provision in different countries. Obviously, we're here in Europe at the moment. How important is that global consistency for the CIOs that you're working with?
We think it's essential. The enterprise of today, even at a relatively small scale, is operating around the world in global markets. And what they're looking for is ultimately the functionality and performance of the application. And to the extent that they can improve and be more efficient in their operations, that's a necessity. And consistency on a global basis, both in terms of contracting, operations, service, response, and the ability to know that their infrastructure is in a consistent model that they can operate with one process instead of many processes, naturally drives efficiency, it drives stability, and ultimately drives the business value that they're looking for. And so that's a core element of what Equinix is delivering to customers in the US, in the Americas, in Europe, the Middle East, and across Asia. And we expect the requirement for that to grow as companies become even more distributed and deploy applications focused on collaboration, which are extremely performance sensitive.
Eric Schwartz, President of EMEA at Equinix, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen.